Barbers used to do everything. They could take your teeth out and cut your hair and sell you cigarettes and even sing a song. Now, they just cut your hair. Or do they? Welcome back to Talking with Jazz with your host, BigDaddy0. Today, I want to introduce you to my former barber, hairdresser. I don't think of him as a barber. A barber has a pole, and Raul never had a pole. His salon was decorated in 1982 or something. So it kind of had the feel of a 1982 rock video. Everything was a bit sort of graphic. Anyway, he's retired now. I mentioned him before. But I want to tell you more about him. And so I'm going to devote the next few episodes to Raul. I've got so many stories, I hardly know where to start. Perhaps I can start with how we met. I knew he was an old-fashioned barber, even though I didn't think he was a barber. He was a hairdresser. Because when I came in, he just said, take a seat. So it wasn't like you had to book, right? Because, as previously stated, booking systems are the enemy of common sense in barbering and haircuts. Anyway, that was the first sign. The second thing I noticed about Raul was he was as bald as anything, which is always a strange thing for hairdressers because you'd think that they would have all the latest technology that would keep their hair stuck to their head, but he had no hair whatsoever. He was a total nude nut, a chrome dome. Okay? Then the other thing was he was kind of large. He was a large man. He still is a large man, I suspect. He also had one other very distinguishing, and still has a distinguishing feature. He's got a very thick Brazilian accent, which I don't think I'd ever actually heard a Brazilian accent until I'd met Raul. But it meant every conversation sometimes had to be translated, or he would put a few words in that you'd never heard before, and they would actually turn out to be Portuguese words or something, because Brazilian actually isn't a language. They actually speak Portuguese in Brazil. Did you know that? Well, now you do. So anyway, the Brazilian, Portuguese-speaking barber from Gisborne, Raul. He instantly got me in because he told me stories. And I just sat there and he told them to me. He also asks about your family, which is really interesting. So he knows, maybe not the names, but he knew that I had my son with me at the time. And so he always would say, this is even on the first meeting, tell me more about you, my son, and talking to him as he's a kid. I think we might have both got haircuts then. The reason I chose to go to Raul on this fateful day was I was in a kind of festive mood. We were having a Halloween party, and I wanted to sort of take the whole Halloween thing to the next level by actually getting my hair cut in a more ridiculous style. So people would sort of say, look, my God, you really do take Halloween seriously. What I wanted to do is take a photo to a hairdresser, not to a barber, because barbers will always just give you whatever. Hairdresser. Raul was a hairdresser, even though he had no qualifications to be a hairdresser. I later found this out. There were no certificates on his wall. You see, he didn't need to do them. He had other qualifications. Who knows what they were? That's the next episode. So I knew he could do what I wanted because he was a hairdresser. So I took my phone and I found the photos that I wanted, and I actually typed in the term 1920s haircut. And it came up, bang, that was the haircut I wanted. A 1920s haircut, which later turned out to be a haircut which Macklemore, who's a contemporary pop artist who famously had a song called Thrift Shop, where he talked about rocking the wolf on his noggin. Now, a wolf is in fact the contemporary version of the 1920s haircut, which when I showed it to Raul, he described it as a slicked back undercut. So pretty much to explain, completely shaved or close to shaved around here, and just a bit of bowl on the top. Anyway, I showed him the picture and he said, "You really want this?" I said, "I want this," and he was kind of a bit perplexed by the whole thing. I didn't go into the Halloween story with him. He did it. He gave me the wolf, or the slick back undercut. And I thought it looked fantastic. Well, I thought it looked fantastic. Other people just thought it looked ridiculous. But it was a hit at the Halloween party, because I dressed as an undertaker with a top hat and a black scarf. I think it's like a, tulle or something. That's the family tartan. More of that later on. And so I was an undertaker, and I had a tape measure. It's like from a Western. And it went down a treat. And from then on, I was hooked. I was always going to get my hair cut by Raul of Gisborne. Why don't you just have a great day? Thank you for watching that video. I do hope you enjoyed it, or learned something, or hated it. Let me know in the comments. Make sure you do the right thing and subscribe. It's really important that you subscribe, because then you won't miss another video. I do hope you're learning more about Raul. Raul is one of my favourite people. He's very special to me. Keep watching, keep learning, and why don't you have a great day?